Hey, Pinball Party fans! This is a sneak peek at a new podcast called Why Is It Like This? That I recently started with a couple sound engineer colleagues of mine. You will be able to find it where you can find all other podcasts, but I wanted to put the first couple on this feed because I think if you're a fan of the Pinball Party, you'll be a fan of this. So join me for the first ever episode of Why Is It Like This? Hello and welcome to the first episode where three friends who are confused by the world and its idiots attempt to help each other answer the question, why is it like this? On this very first episode, we ask why people are given multiple attempts to take such an easy test, how to properly execute a mid-run roadside evacuation, and by evacuation I mean shit. We ask about the oddities of the Catholic religion, and of course, why people don't teach their kids how to wipe their ass that much, and more on Why Is It Like This. All right, turn your stereo up, put your earbuds in, take your pants off, and let's go. Well, boys, here we go.
Here we go.
Episode 1.
Episode 1.
What are we doing? Well, since it's the first episode of Why Is It Like This, I guess, we gotta, we'll do some short intros, like who we are. My name's Jason. Is it fair to say we're all sound engineers?
I would think so, yeah.
You guys are.
Yeah, yeah. Sean is too. We're all in the world of music, songwriters. We're in a band together. We have separate bands, audio. You own an audio shop.
I do.
Zach, aside from being 8 feet tall, having the biggest feet I've ever seen.
Don't do that to me, man.
Well, I can see them. They're big.
Don't look.
Anything that matters about you that we need to discuss?
I mean, not really. Just glad to be here and ready to, figure some stuff out.
And Sean, to my left, notoriously small genitals.
Mm-hmm.
For every inch that Zach's feet have, my genitals have -1.
Right.
It's like an inverse ratio thing.
Yeah.
Well, also, you have a master's in math of some sort, right?
Data science. Got a master's in data science.
Yeah, so like really.
Yeah. I have a math degree.
What's that like?
Yeah. We just described it.
Yeah, okay, sure.
We're going to talk about things that help each other understand this world that's just trash.
It's bad.
There's no reason to listen to what we're saying at all. But we will make it sound good. It'll sound like you should listen to what we're saying.
Correct.
For today, we kind of preloaded some questions. We don't know what they are, of just things that you've thought of, Sean has, I have, of just like, what?
The degradation of life, really. The daily degradation of life and society around us, and how fucking frustrating it is, quite honestly.
And maybe we can help each other.
Right, and how we can work through that, really.
My goal is to just really give you both shit as much as I can.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay.
But Zach, you got a list?
I do actually have a list.
Because this was kind of your idea. Well, like I've done podcasting. We've all done music production, audio production. We've played shows together. This was kind of like, hey man, god damn it.
Why do we let people who fail their driver's test take it again and then give them a license? Like, I just feel like driving tests aren't that difficult. And if you fail it on the first time, there's probably like a bigger problem going on, like in your life sort of thing. And it's just like last night I saw somebody's mom was like bragging on their kid for getting their driver's license on their third try. And I'm like, that's horrifying, Like they're not a better driver than the first time they took it or the second time they took it, but like they got their license and they're out there.
Well, and for you, again, big feet, tall, all that, audio engineer, we said that you're also a car guy, if I may.
Oh, sure, you may. That's a couple of my topics.
Right.
The vast majority of them, really.
Yeah. You're a BMW guy. You've gotten me kind of into the car realm. So it makes sense that you would obsess over something with an automobile. I passed my driver's test first time because, as you said, it's fucking easy.
Right.
I did blow through one uncontrolled intersection, but he's kind of like, that's a gimme. I mean...
Okay.
I'm saying, like in a rural neighborhood, the 4-way stop sign. I was like, I didn't look.
You stopped though, right?
No, blew through it.
Okay.
So, but that's I'm 41, so that's in the 90s, the 90s.
Yeah, they didn't even have seatbelts.
No, they didn't. And so I made it through. But I mean, if I would have failed, I would have been like, whoa, I'm an idiot,
right?
I'm wondering what the alternative is. I'm all for this idea.
Yes.
I'm all for the idea.
Of what? Multiple tests?
Of multiple, actually, the concept of multiple tests being not the way to go.
Oh, one and that's it.
Because as a 16-year-old, or whenever you take it, actually, it's even worse when you see somebody getting driving instructions and you look in the window and it's like a 45-year-old woman.
Right.
Like, why did you wait this long?
But also, thank you, you know?
But yeah, what would the alternative be of a public execution?
Well, okay, no, we're solving problems
I like that.
here.
I mean, no, I think after a certain age, okay, granted, we live in a place where like you need a car. We're in a 70,000 population. Well, Sean, you're closer to, we're in the Midwest, right? I mean, not tiny towns, not big towns.
Right.
We're not in New York where I get like, oh, maybe I don't get a car until I'm 40. Here, you're 16, you get a fucking car because you need to leave and do stuff. You need to, but yeah, no, if you're like 40 and in a place where most people get their license between like their age of 16 and 18, throw them off a bridge if they don't get it.
And I mean, you know, again, trying to maybe solve some things here. What if it was like a sliding, well, a sliding scale isn't the right phrase, but like if you fail the first test, I don't think they should give you the exact same test the next time. It should be like more difficult, you know, like there should be added elements so that you actually have to put some effort into it, you know, instead of just like barely making it by 3 times until you finally get it and you're still a trash driver on the road. It just seems like more of a formality, and I feel like everybody that I see on the road who's just a terrible driver, I imagine, you know, they all went through the same process, and it just doesn't seem like it's, you know, we're missing something. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just how people are, but...
Have to do a pit maneuver by your third test.
Exactly. Yes. You know, GTA 5 stars sort of situation, you know, like they throw some like cartel guy in the back seat with, you know, the trunk is filled with Coke, and then they like... call it in, and that's your driving test, you know? You gotta get from Eau Claire to Chippewa Falls, you know, and in a certain
or someone's
amount of time.
gonna fucking kill you.
Exactly, and then you never get your license. So, I mean, it really does kill 2 birds, you know?
Aside from, I'm glad you got it off your chest.
Yeah, that was
Kill them after a certain age. Kill them if they don't get it. Or if they're earlier, put them through a rigorous second test. I like the idea of
rigorous second test. Yeah.
a drug run.
Okay, perfect, yep.
Realistically, it should just be longer. You can't really make a driving test harder and have it be realistic. You know, it's like they have you do the 3 things that you do when you're driving on the driving test. You stay in your lane, you stop at stop signs or stoplights, and you parallel park behind one vehicle.
Okay.
Got that out of the way, at least.
May I?
Please.
I've had something written down that I would... Why didn't anyone, parent or authority, teach me to wipe my ass more than once when I was young?
What? Wait, what?
Well, when I was young, I had streaks in my underwear, you know.
Sure, skid marks.
Skid marks.
That's what we used to call you.
And but I thought even seems more than average. Like I expected,
but like kind of normal.
Well, and then at some point, I don't know if it was my sister or me. Like I realized, like, oh, you can wipe more than once. It's not like I thought it was just you go through the motions. You go in the bathroom, you take a dump. And you get you wipe once, front to back. That's it.
Is it like a crumple or a fold situation?
I don't even know if I checked it. I'm just like, well, that's it, and you go.
No,
and
like
here I go.
Preparing to wipe. Do you fold it or do you just crumple it into a ball? And
now I
send
fold.
It? Okay, like
I don't ball.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? When I'm like, this is 7 years old ish.
Yeah, but just once, huh?
Yeah, but
and
then I one time it just clicked. I'm like, oh wait. So. I'm saying, like, did you guys learn?
All right.
You're looking at.
All right. Well, hold on. Sean, would you like to weigh in on this? You had a pretty strong reaction to that, like similar to mine. And yeah, go ahead.
I used to wipe to excess, I would think. I don't remember being taught.
When was your first hemorrhoid?
I actually haven't had one. I don't want to like derail us too much. I've torn my butthole a couple of times.
Oh, first 5 minutes.
Right.
Come on.
Torn it.
Yeah, but yeah, never had a hemorrhoid. But also, I don't remember being taught to wipe more than once, but definitely have always done it personally.
Okay, so I actually, this is very relatable for me because I wouldn't say we grew up poor, but maybe this will give you an idea for, you know, our financial situation growing up. I distinctly remember my dad taking my brother and I into our tiny ass bathroom in our house and giving us like a master class on like how many sheets of toilet paper we should be taking off the roll, how many times we should be folding it over after you wipe using the same, you know, sheets and everything. And like if we didn't, he would like find out somehow, like he would know, and then we would have to like, he'd be like,
how would he know?
because he would like know how much toilet paper we should be going through based on how many times
Hell
a day
yeah.
a 7 and a 9-year-old should be taking a dump. And I'm like, if we didn't comply, then we're, didn't have food that week or something. It wasn't that bad, but
I get the kind of course, like saving some money. Don't take 50 rolls. Okay, but this is a complete opposite of mine. Mine was just like, good luck. And I slowly figured out of shame for myself.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I got to just wipe again.
Yeah.
And then I realized like, oh shit, it's like 3 times per.
Minimum.
Sure. What are you eating?
Now?
2 times is my minimum, but it's aside the point. I'm saying in between my situation, which was whatever, and yours, which your dad is like, all right, come on in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's fucking have a meeting. My name is Dad. You are Zach.
Yes.
This is how you do toilet paper.
Yep.
Wipe. That's fucked up.
But like we wouldn't like do an actual demonstration. He would just
but
do that.
But
and then,
I
like,
saw your hands and you showed me that he did do a
but he
demonstration.
wouldn't say like, take a dump and we'll go from there. That didn't happen.
Oh, so he said, I'll tell you and then go about your business.
Yeah, and then, next time this happens to you, this is the correct process. And it has stuck with me forever, man. Like since that day.
Clearly.
Like I've the same way every time. And, I honestly kind of, wonder about some people sometimes if,
Well, I was not taught.
Now we know. Okay, so yes.
Teach your kids. Just give them a heads up. Maybe this,
Right.
like, how you doing with your ass, kid? Just put a feeler out there.
Cannot say that to anyone besides your own children, by the way. Just
Yeah, again, not legal advice, but we're making this sound good. So, like, from some sound engineers, don't ask other kids how their ass wiping is going. But your own kid, I'd say at 5 or 6, hey, kid, Joey, how's your poop in your butt? I don't fucking know. How are you going to ask your kid? How's your wiping?
I think that's why, you kind of skip the asking and just say, like, we're talking about this, like they're going to poop for the rest of their lives. So, just kind of nip it in the butt. Can I say that?
I don't like that pun at all. My God.
I got something kind of closely related. It's not I'm going to throw a curveball because of events that happened this week. And it's not a why is it like this, but maybe it's a why is my body like this? I was running on Monday.
As in, you were an active runner.
Yep.
Not running away from a bear.
Not running away from a bear. But the training plan for the marathon that my wife is running and the half that I'm going to do called for an 11-mile long run.
Okay.
So I was doing that. And about 5 miles in, my stomach started to cramp. And I was like, whatever, this happens. It'll probably go away. And it just kept building for about 3 more miles until about mile 8. It was unavoidable that I was going to poop. And so I'm running on a trail. I live in a larger city. I'm running on a trail in the Midwest that is paved. It has trees on one side and kind of a river on one side, but the other side is a road that is being driven on all the time because it's about 5:30 in the PM. So everybody's getting done with work and going home.
Mm-hmm.
And it was thankfully getting a little bit dark, but I ran into an issue where you're like trying to put it off as long as possible. So when it's finally about to happen, it's happening now, and there's no more time. There's no time to run even 30 feet to your left to get into the trees.
Jesus. Like it's peeking.
And so I looked to the right, which is roadside, and there was a little bit of brush and trees and some snow built up because we just got wrecked by snow, thankfully.
Right.
And I'm like, I got to poop roadside. So I like go and I cower underneath behind this like snow pile and just blow out right beside the trail.
Blow out. Wait, what kind of, what was it, like just a standard or was it?
No, it was my second shit of the day.
Yeah.
It was irritated, agitated bowels because I had been running and it had just been like for the last 80 minutes or so.
Fuck.
Laundry machine.
And so it was one of those ones where you've got the plug and then it just goes
and then spray or
it was just a deluge.
You're using great words to describe this. Actually.
I can't fucking breathe.
I'm like, oh, and then Thankfully, nobody else was on the trail because the weather was trash and it was icy and stuff.
Yeah.
Because if somebody had walked around the corner, I'm just there ass out with a pile of poop in between my feet.
Who's the freak?
And then you don't realize this very often when you're just shitting normally because the toilet water captures a lot of what's going on.
Softens the blow. Sure.
And so after the initial shock of, I guess I'm shitting outside right now, without planning on it in the middle of the city.
Sure.
Right. And there's cars driving by just on the other side of these little bushes and trees and stuff. The smell hits me.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I'm like,
that was my first thought. Yep.
And then shitting outside, it's like, I guess I'd probably wipe with leaves. There's no leaves around because all the trees are dead.
Yeah.
So
Winter.
I just grab a bunch of snow and I start washing my ass with snow.
Ouch.
What else? I have to be going fast because there's other people that are going to be going by.
I would have hand wiped. I would have hand wiped and then washed my hand on this.
I hand wiped with snow as kind of toilet paper, but then I got lucky. I grabbed some snow and there was a chunk of ice, kind of packed snow in there.
How is that lucky?
Because I was able to, without
Don't
it.
make that motion with your hand.
He's making like a scooping motion.
That's what I was doing. I had this ice toilet paper that I was able to
Okay. Hold on a second here.
I wasn't. Wait. One more detail before you say. Was there a noise?
There were two noises.
Yeah,
there were
yeah.
two noises. The first one was halfway through. All of a sudden, it's just like,
Yeah, sure, the flaps.
Yes.
Right.
Wow.
and in the middle of that, out of my mouth. Oh,
What the fuck, dude? Yeah, it's like, and shame, right? Are you just ashamed of yourself?
I'm in fight or flight mode at that point,
Right.
so I
Sure.
wasn't thinking. I actually got done. I wiped with my chunk of ice. I was like, that was pretty lucky. That was there.
Thankful. He's thankful for
I
it.
don't get that. I don't know.
Pull my
Sorry.
shorts back up. Go back to the walk 3 steps back to the trail, and I'm like, my asshole is really cold now because I got
Right.
snow in there,
Right.
and I was like, well, let's just start. So then I start running again.
Here we
just
go.
And about 1/10 of a mile later, it just kind of all hits me. I'm like, I just had to stop and shit.
Right.
Shit. And I just got back on the trail and started running. So then I stop and I call my wife to come and pick me up like a 4-year-old child. Like, hey, I pooped myself. Can you come get me?
Okay, 2 questions real quick.
Mhm.
Were you able to make eye contact with anybody driving
What
by?
the fuck?
Well, no. While I was hunched over, I was hidden enough that cars wouldn't be able to see me, and I was not able to see into any windows.
Okay, fair. Just had to clarify.
Mhm.
But then also, I mean, come on. Were you wearing socks?
Yep.
Were you wearing underwear?
Mhm.
Okay, so you take your shoes off, you take your socks off, you take your underwear off. You've got at least 3 wiping options there, and then you just
That takes way too long because I was fully exposed on trail side.
And he's got an ass of just soup. How I would have handled Sean's situation. I'm running. I got to shit. I don't like a lot of different shit on my ass. I mean, shit, wrong word. I don't like different stimuli.
things.
I'm very particular about toilet paper, wiping once. So I would have because with my hand, I got smooth skin. It's gross, mind you.
It is gross.
Smooth, but I notice around me, look I have God's washcloths and water everywhere. So I'll just scoop. I'll scoop. I'll wipe, I'll scoop. I got my hand.
Both hands, or just commit to one?
Gross. And one, of course.
Just commit to
You know
one
what?
and that's it? Okay,
Yes,
yeah.
because if I'm going to keep running or walking, if I would have just scraped my asshole like Sean did with ice and snow, I'm going to now walk like a fucking penguin. I can't
Yeah,
run. I got to,
right.
well, he called mom, but I mean, so yeah, I would have scooped with my hand, then used the snow. But you saying what would you do?
I would have popped my shoes off and taken my socks off and at least had, 2 decent wiping mediums and then just buried them in a little pile of snow and, put my shoes back on and moved on with my life.
And you're gonna put your shoes on without socks like a fucking Italian? What are you, criminals?
My wife is on her way to pick me up. It's not like I'm running the rest of the marathon,
Well, I was still thinking I was gonna finish this.
Okay, let's move on. I'm gonna throw up and etc. What do you got? You got something else, Zach?
Can we do something more sort of serious topic that I was kind of contemplating?
Please.
So I saw this thing on newer website that some of you may have heard of called Reddit that someone was talking, I can't even remember the topic of what it was at this point, but somebody said, it's not because they're dumb, it's because of the internet. And I think I just completely fundamentally disagree with that pertaining to like literally any topic as far as, it was about whether the Holocaust actually happened or not, right? And the data was exaggerated, but, the underlying point was that there are people around us on planet Earth that genuinely believe the Holocaust never happened, right? And so this person was kind of defending them by saying, well, it's not because they're dumb, it's because of the internet. Is that a legitimate excuse that we can use for lack of common sense these days?
Okay, this person is somewhat indirectly defending someone who says, yes, the Holocaust did not exist.
Correct, yeah.
They're saying they're just because the information that they have access to is the World Wide Web, which is a pit hole of filth.
Sure.
They may be intellectually apt, but their sources are fucked. The internet.
I guess.
That's
basically what I'm saying.
Hey, he's got a point. Because, of raising someone who's a child, well, not child, 20 years old now, like, throughout the age of TikTok and YouTube, of, like, the things that they just think of, like, oh, this is just right. It's like, it is so not even fucking close. But I'll say to her defense, she's not an idiot, but, like, she's socially surrounded by everyone who's just like, the internet is the source of truth. Because, I mean, God doesn't exist, so we can move past that, which I got something about that soon.
Okay, perfect.
So,
great.
So with my data science degree actually finally coming in handy, that argument is more legitimate than it seems like it should be. I'll try and, I mean, that's still wrong. Like, you should have common sense. You should be paying attention in school and in class and learn that. That was some of the most impactful stuff that I ever learned in school, was when we were learning about the Holocaust and et cetera.
For sure.
However, the way that data and information is presented to us on the internet, as soon as you make an account, sometimes even if you don't, on anything, is going to be tailor-made and algorithmed to the same type of stuff that you have started out watching or started out consuming.
Sure.
And by making friends with people, everything that you do, the amount of time that you spend looking at a post on Facebook or at a video, like the amount of time that you spend on a particular thing, all of those have metadata associated with them. And so they say, Zach looked 3 seconds at this post about a cat, but he looked 7 seconds at a post about a dog or a dick, probably, right?
Uh-huh.
And so if we want to keep him just a little bit longer, let's serve up some more posts that are related to dicks, because that's keeping his attention longer. Your browser picks up stuff when you're accepting cookies on every website. What you're doing is you're letting them look at, like, or track various stuff that ultimately gets you into an echo chamber.
Right.
Maybe not a super obvious one, but as soon as you start to engage with a little bit of stuff that says the Holocaust isn't real,
the internet is like, here, yeah, you're right. Check out all this stuff.
Right. All of the algorithms are designed to say, not we should give them more Holocaust data specifically, right, but they are designed to say we should give them more anti-Holocaust data because that's what they're maybe not interested in, but that's what they engaged with for a split second longer than something else. And then it just kind of snowballs.
So the internet is basically like that one person that you weren't really friends with in high school, but they were always around and they just blindly supported everything that you did. Like, the internet is like, yeah, I'm here for that. If you don't think the Holocaust happened, here's, everything you need to know about how you think the Holocaust didn't happen.
Totally. And that same friend, when they're talking to you, they're like, love the Holocaust.
Right.
Or, I mean, don't love the Holocaust. Yeah, I don't think it happened. But then hanging out with somebody that's sympathetic like me, they'd be like, yeah, dude, the Holocaust was bad and real.
Right.
Sure.
So I think this person, if they thought about it, aside from being like a 420 Reddit bro, I think they're right.
Yeah, you might be bringing me around. Go to college, kids. That was a great explanation.
Start your kids off well. Teach them how to wipe their ass. Tell them how, when they're running, when they're pooping, what to do. Use your hand. I mean, folks,
look into the Holocaust.
Look into the. It's not. Of course, the Holocaust was real, and Jesus Christ is terrible. But
Jesus Christ was not there. He would have been impacted, though, had he been alive at the time.
Had he been,
he very much would have been impacted. All right. Well, I hope that helped. And for anyone out there who's has any questions similar to this, please write into wiiltpod@gmail.com. The acronym, why is it like this, pod@gmail.com. You get it. It's in the show notes. Let us know if there's anything you want to ask us that we could help with. We probably won't, but we'll sound good trying. Sean, what do you got? You got other shit other than pooing and...
No, I'm interested in hearing what you had mentioned, that you have something about God not being real. I'd love to play devil's advocate.
We're just hitting it hard this morning.
I mean, if we're like, hey, this is more, it's more detailed than not like let's talk about why God does this,
right?
But just being raised Christian, so naturally I'm agnostic now and believe.
What flavor?
Catholic, the
Same,
good stuff.
okay.
Just yeah, like shame on you.
Yep.
But God's proposal of like, this is a good idea. We'll do this. Go to this building, eat my son, drink him a little bit, tell me all your secrets, confession, right? And give me your money. And my guys, priests, what you will, they're probably gonna fuck your kids.
If history has shown us anything. Wow.
And it's just like, yeah, okay, sure, let's fucking go.
Well, that's a part of society that we should keep going.
It's Sunday. Let me put on my good gear and take part. I want to drink this kid. I want to fucking drink this kid.
I mean, he was an adult, like
it's still his son.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna drink this kid. I'm gonna eat him up a little bit, and I got some extra cash. Have it, and then and then the best part. My kids are going to go to your, quote, Sunday school without us. So, to these fucking strangers who believe in a ghost in the clouds that has a high likelihood of fucking my kid.
Wow.
And let's base an entire country's fucking rules around it.
You went through some shit as a kid, didn't you?
No, this is this is real right now.
It's
right
still
fucking
happening.
now. We
It's
could
still
drive down the
happening.
road, big plus sign on a building. Yeah. This shit's still going. What am I supposed to do with this?
So
only the Catholics are boning. Not only the Catholics, but primarily only the Catholic priests are boning kids.
Sure.
You got data on it?
Well, as far as I understand, like Catholic priests are boning kids because Catholic priests are not allowed to get married, and so they have this loophole of they can get their sexual gratification. I don't remember what it is, but
I agree. Let me solve this right now.
Go ahead.
I love the whole idea of like what it teaches. Be good to one another. Right? I mean, it's probably we have the same morals. I agree with 100% of the morals, aside from the fucking the kids and all that kind of stuff. I agree with all the morals. Be good to each other. Even though I've created you with a dong and you a vagina, a voluptuous flower, you don't get to do that. You're my slave, bro. Take all these people's money, let them tell you their secrets, jack off to it later, whatever they're doing. Just let them fuck women, or vice versa. Just let them fuck.
Yeah, that's right, because they're not allowed to do that.
That's the solution. Because if they were to bang chicks, they probably wouldn't be so hard up on money. They're like, the money, because to them, they got no joy. They're like, money is everything. And as we know, it's not. It doesn't bring happiness.
It's terrible.
But they're like, what am I going to do? I got to at least buy shit. And I don't know what they're buying aside from pimp-ass buildings. These things are mint.
I mean, the Vatican has, the most wealth anywhere in the world. I mean, they have art collections and, stuff that we don't even know exists. That is just
cool clothes.
So, but I mean, I don't know if they're actively purchasing and acquiring those things, or if that stopped, a long ass time ago. Or I'm not defending them, but
if they were allowed to just get their rocks off, they'd be like a little more chill. We're probably not going to bang your kids anymore. Probably don't need as much money. A little bit, pay the bills, like whatever. I get it. You probably don't need all your secrets to smash off to later.
Sure.
Well, I don't care. Like, I'm good. I'm chill.
Right.
And
that's an interesting point, because if you actually, I mean, throughout the course of the Bible, it's, very, very encouraging of banging chicks, to use, to be crass about it, but in, in the context of marriage. So there is kind of a gap there as well, is like, then should they be allowed to get married as well? Because the Bible's very supportive of that,
should.
Right?
Well, you don't think so, Sean?
They can't have sex before they get married.
That's what I'm saying.
But a priest can't get married.
Right. They can't do either.
Right. So so we would almost have to change two different things there. But that's what I'm saying, is the Bible is very supportive of marriage and, the whole construct of marriage. The Bible is very unsupportive of homosexuality, which is, a story for, or not a story, but, topic
just
for another
fix
time.
that shit. Yeah. Just let the priests marry and bang, let women be priests, because I don't know about you, I want to hear a woman tell like the sermon and story, like be a little more Mother Teresa,
Sure.
just to like, I don't want to hear some fucking dude
Right.
like us, like what are we doing? What are we, I don't want to hear a fucking, hey, what's up? I'm taking advice from a guy who's never banged. Well, he's banged some kids. I'm listening to this guy. He's making me eat people, biscuits and blood and shit.
Yep.
He's stealing my money. He's like, you better tell me your secrets later, otherwise you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
This is the guy that I'm like, yes, tell me, sir.
Sure.
How should I live my life?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Well, that's been bothering me.
Yeah, I mean, that's maybe simplifying it a smidge, but I mean, honestly, you probably have a good point, I mean, they're all about the Bible. The Bible is all for marriage. There's Paul, who was celibate and never got married, his entire life, and doesn't say anything about him banging anybody, throughout the course of his life. But, that's not the norm. The Bible doesn't encourage that to be the norm of, to not get married. So, you might be onto something here, actually, because it should fall in line with their beliefs. And there's probably some history behind why they do that none of us are aware of. But, I don't know. From what I know and what you're saying, it seems like a potentially valid idea.
Yeah, it's not even like a belief thing. Like I love all the positive stuff of religion and spirituality, all that. Like, yeah, just be good to people. There's your church.
Mostly just the banging kids.
I'm not cool with it.
Right. Yep.
I'm
Which
not
is good.
If you take that out of the situation, forced to go on Sunday, that's a bummer.
The money.
Give me money.
Thing.
It's kind of like, come on.
Yep.
Don't make me tell you the secrets. Like I have to feel bad about the brain that you gave me and like what the hell's going on. DNA, you made it. What? I'll eat the biscuits and I'll drink it. Everything else, pass.
Right.
Hard pass.
Yep.
I agree 100%. I think that a lot of these problems have been solved by non-Catholic denominations too. Like, not everybody has confession.
Correct.
Pastors can get married. Everybody is still getting money. Got to get that money.
Well, I mean, that's actually exactly what I was going to say, Sean, is like, not that we're apologizing for anything, but this is very, very Catholic focused. I mean, I have been a part of churches for my entire life. And the money thing, though, that is pretty universal. That is small churches, mega churches, it's a sliding scale that they are a business, I mean, they're a business when it comes down to it, unfortunately. But there are definitely other denominations and churches specifically that do not adhere to the Catholic, rules and stipulations of what it means to be a Christian, if you will.
What do you guys got? You got something, Sean? You got something you're confused about? You got something you need help with?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's also related to religion, and I'll save it for a different time.
Okay,
I'll save it for a different time. No, I'm going to bring it up. So, just really quick, been thinking about this since Christmas. I have a couple Jewish friends since I moved to the big city. I had never met anyone that was Jewish before because everybody is Italian and German in the Midwest primarily.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And so I have somebody that I can ask a lot of questions. And
that's actually pretty sweet. I don't have any Jewish friends.
Everybody in my life thought that I was Jewish for the longest time. My grandma this is a true story. My grandma played a long con on me. I went to visit her one time and she told me this story about our Jewish heritage or something like that. And so, every once in a while, and I lived in Jersey for a while. And so there's a ton of Jewish people out there. And every once in a while, I'll just jokingly be like, oh yeah, I'm kind of Jewish or whatever. To the point where when I distinctly remember when I moved to Austin, I jokingly told this to one of my friends, and there was this girl who was like interested in dating me, and my friend told this girl that I was Jewish, and I didn't find out till like a year later, but that was like deal breaker for her. Like she didn't even try at that point, and I had no idea, and I was just joking about it, but it's a real thing, Wait,
your grandma just basically played a joke on you, like, haha, I'm gonna tell him he's Jewish, but you're not.
Right, and I've spoken with her, ad nauseum about this, about like...
For her, it was just a lol?
I guess, yeah, because she was serious when she said it, I mean, I distinctly remember this conversation, but...
Well, let's get back to Sean, but let's bring up your grandma some other time, because that seems completely fucked.
Right, she's
great, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right.
That's awesome. That seems like the whole purpose of parenthood is to have somebody just...
Tell them wipe only once. You're Jewish.
Yeah.
Good luck. Hey, here's some websites you can go on to. I got some resources about the Holocaust.
God, yeah, it didn't exist. Okay.
Joseph and Mary were married. Mary, however, was a virgin. So I asked my friend, and he's not a mouthpiece for all of Judaism. But
Sure.
I asked, like, is there an expectation that a marriage is consummated on the wedding night in a Jewish wedding? Because it seems pretty suspicious that Joseph and Mary, or that Mary is a virgin if they were married, first of all.
What did your friend say?
He said it's not explicitly required or anything like that, I guess.
Yeah.
So maybe it's fine, but he's like, it would be very unusual
To not.
to not have sex on your wedding night. So that was item 1. And then leading into item 2, then there is one of the commandments is not to not commit adultery or lie with another man's wife or whatever, which
Or
God
in
just
2024, another man's man.
sure.
Yep.
We're
It
very
is 2024.
liberal here. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
Yeah. But God just totally blasted that out of the water and dumped in Mary when she was already married to Joseph.
Wait. Did you? I don't like. Oh, did he say dumped in Mary? Okay.
Also, I'm
Fair.
just going to kind of ramrod this whole thing here. Sorry for that hand motion.
Yeah.
But I grew up being taught that they were not married. They were more of engaged sort of a situation, actually. Betrothed, as it were.
Ooh.
It's kind of like one of the supporting, not Book of Judas, but like one of the supporting not biblical, texts in the I don't know if it was Catholicism or what, but they do, they have outside texts and things that say they were married, but biblically, I do not think there is anything in the Bible that says that they were married at the time of conception. But that's just, I'm just saying that. I don't, I don't think any of us can say for sure, really.
I've read 2 pages of the Bible. If that's not already clear to everyone here and everyone listening, I read the first 2 pages of Genesis while I was waiting for confession when I was in like 8th grade.
When you were talking all this, my eyes glazed over. I'm like, I don't know any details because I was always been so checked out. I'm like, this is all just shit. I'm not paying attention to anything, so I know nothing. I have no color commentary. Sounds great. You bet.
Well, you bet.
But I've read one piece of the Bible because I thought it was badass. When Satan is like tempting Jesus, he's like, "What's up? You gonna fucking do it?"
Right.
That part's sweet.
Yeah. You can have all this. You can have the whole world if you bow down to me. Yeah.
And then Satan in the Last Temptation. No, what's the movie with Mel Gibson and Jesus where they kick the shit out of them
Passion
all?
of the Christ.
Passion of the Christ. When Satan's in there, dude's fucking badass. I don't agree with like Satanism. That's what I'm saying.
Right,
But he's
yeah.
like dark and it's all kind of artsy and fucking. It's just kind of cool.
Convincing, right?
It's awesome.
Man.
It's dramatic and convincing. Yes.
Yeah.
I just vibe with that a little more.
Okay, but not like supporting.
No, I'm not
Satan,
supporting
but
Satanism.
Just like,
nah.
yeah, okay, okay, sure.
I like I like the Matrix. I like goth shit, dark and moody. Tool.
Right.
I like metal.
Yeah, that's
music.
fair.
It's just kind of fucking cool.
Yeah.
But no, don't. I'm not Satanistic.
No, don't touch that. Yeah, no.
But yeah, I have nothing to say because I don't pay attention to any of that shit.
Sure, and I mean that's kind of why it's tough for me too, is because I was I'm raised in the church for my entire life, and
You didn't get stuffed in the hole, though.
Nope, never had any issues with diddling kids or anything like that.
That's nice.
Myself specifically, it was nice. I'm grateful for that. Definitely, I wouldn't change that part of my upbringing. That's for sure. But yeah, I mean, as probably guess Sean, you sounded like you knew what you were talking about. So I mean,
yeah,
good
convincing,
for you, right?
We did it. We sounded like you should listen to
It
us.
was surprising to me when you're like, I've only read 2 pages of the Bible, but you talked to your friend about it for 17 seconds, and so
I think about it a lot. I've spent a lot of time thinking about it from the stuff that I mean in catechism, or we had to go to catechism / Sunday school through 12th grade. So like I learned a lot. I just haven't read the Bible, and then I forgot it all.
I got something.
Please.
People who walk their dogs without a leash.
Oh my God.
They, to me, as our last 2 dogs being a pit bull or a pit bull mix, I think these people's experience have never met a pit bull. Pit bulls are amazing,
right?
But they're dogs like that or German Shepherd. Like my dog will fuck your dog up if it comes near and it doesn't like it because it's protecting me, it loves me. And we've done a lot of dog fostering. All 3 of us are dog people. We can speak to this.
Yeah.
But these fuckwads just, oh no, my dog's nice. I get it. Sure. Have it come up to mine.
And then it's your fault.
And then how come your dog? Because you don't understand life.
Right, but
You
an
know?
your dog's on a leash, so it's a worse scenario because if you try to pull your dog away, then they want to fight more, so...
Or they do the thing where they got a 50-foot leash and like, oh, I'll just let my dog walk up to your dog nose to nose.
Yeah.
Idiot.
I would also like to clarify, you said pit bull, and that's, kind of a buzzword these days, but I have an Appenzeller, mountain dog sort of situation that's like 70, 75 pounds. And same thing, if we're out in public and any sort of dog that is even close to her size comes up to her, somebody's got to die. Like, that's her first thought. It's just has to happen. So, I don't even think it's exclusive to pit bulls. I agree.
No, I was just using that as a quick...
Right.
Yeah.
So I do have this guy in my neighborhood, though, who I see him regularly walking his dog off a leash, and the dog is, just perfectly trained
Sure.
and whatever. But I only ever see him, like, after 9 p.m. And I think he does that intentionally. He's, like, very courteous about, like, if I'm going to be out in the world with my dog off a leash, even though it's very well trained, I'm going to do it at an hour where there's most likely not other people out, walking his dog or whatever. So I got to give him some credit too. Never talked to him, never met him, but, I like to think he's a good guy.
Okay. And Sean, you have a, what type of dog?
I have a Doberman, and similar. He's a smaller Doberman. Well, he's 70 pounds-ish.
Big fucking dog.
So he's a big
Yeah.
dog. And yeah, like, if he's on a leash and another dog is not on a leash, he gets uncomfortable because he's leashed, right? So he doesn't have the range of motion. And so it's like, it's just a real dick move. Just a real fucking dick move.
It's about the people around you, right?
And it's illegal.
And it's illegal, but when you call animal control, which I've done multiple times for certain dogs that are just like, it's not only dangerous to their dog, it's dangerous to your own dog. It's dangerous to you. Like, when dogs are going to, like, let's fucking go. It's not like, oh, could you please stop? They're like, oh, no, I'm killing. Right. They don't do anything. And it, similar to your question before of this person saying, it's not their fault, it's the internet or whatever. I think some of these people, they mean well, but they haven't been, like, we've fostered a fuckload of dogs and learned a lot of different breed shit and seen it in action, had to deal with it. And so we have that benefit of knowing, like some of these things, just don't fucking do them.
Right.
I can't expect everyone else to be doing that, and that's not fair either. Solution proposal.
Please.
Can we kill these people instantly?
That's your second time that you've been just like, kill them.
You got a better idea?
I really don't. I don't.
That's nature's solution to stuff.
Solution solved.
Yeah,
Problem solved.
Right.
Solution provided.
We were talking yesterday about a sort of like Dexter type situation and how, like, if there was a time that you could, properly execute just eliminating...
You got real specific, and that concerned me. You were planning shit.
I'm going through some stuff.
Clearly. Let's do one more. You got something? You got a...
You want to do another, like, not so, something quick like that? Let me see what I can come up with here.
I mean, what's bothering you? What do you need?
What's really bothering me is people who chew with their mouth open, and when you say... Well, I mean, you can't say to somebody...
Can I try to finish it? Your guess? Can I see if I know?
Please, yep.
And I'm not to interrupt. I just want to see if...
I would love this game. Yeah.
Okay. People who chew, and then when you say, hey, could you please, whatever, they get mad at you. Is this correct?
Even more detailed,
okay.
They say, my mouth is closed. And you're like watching them, and you just want to like video, and I'm like, what is your definition of your mouth being closed? Like, it either is or isn't. I have a problem with being around people who are chewing anyway, to the point where I don't like to hear myself chew. But it's just about the principle. It just goes back to, like, this is factually what's happening, and I'm not being an asshole, because nobody likes to say, hey, can you please close your mouth and chew with your mouth closed like a 4-year-old? I mean, or did people just not learn that? I always assumed that was like a universal, like, when you eat food, especially if you're around other people. And some people take it to the next level where they'll like chew with their mouth closed, but they'll be like breathing like a lot while they're chewing. So you get the whole like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, don't. I guess I would say I've been very surprised by the people that I have been around, and I would just assume, like, I thought you were a normal member of society, and like you never learned how to eat food, properly, apparently.
I think that's in kids' songs, like chewing with your mouth closed. I don't have an example, but I think that...
You have no basis for this.
I was going to say, I don't know.
No, I don't, but it just seems like something...
Like it should be. Maybe you're coming up with a solution.
Yeah,
write a song.
I have a solution for two things.
There
Kids' song for chew with your mouth closed and wipe your ass until it's clean.
Easy.
Wow.
We will write this song. We will make this song.
We are fixing world problems already.
We won't promise when, but okay.
And honestly, yeah, it's just one of those things that I'm probably gonna have to deal with that for the rest of my life, and it's always gonna be there, and there's no, universal way besides, I guess, killing them, if that was on the table for.
I as well can't stand it. All I can give is my, I have this is a habitual problem with my wife, and she wouldn't mind, because it's true. She's great. This is not like she's in a habitual, but when she does, and she's usually like, oh yeah, sorry, she'll stop, like a normal human, or I will, and like, oh yeah, sorry.
Sure.
She equally like you, and rightfully so. She'll be on the computer, and I'll be up next to like looking at whatever she's doing over her shoulder, like on a laptop, doing something together, whatever. Right. And I'm just chewing away at some shit. And she, and I know I'm doing it, and I'm like, I catch myself right when she looks at me, and I'm like, yeah, I know, fuck me, I'm the worst, and I stop.
Sure.
That's my thing, and I'll admit that freely. Everything crunchy. She's a big pretzel fan. Huge pretzel, any cracker, Triscuit, something that's very...
A nice bugle.
Oh, nice. Not like a chicken and a biscuit, which is slightly tender.
It is, yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So she likes... But what she... Fucking God, I love her, but fuck off. The first bite always... It's the first one is with the mouth open.
Yes.
Because she likes the whole experience of like the dry crunch, the trebly crunchy.
Right. Yep.
And she loves it. And that's the problem. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
Every time.
Right.
And I say it and she's like, oh shit. I mean, she'll admit, I love that part. I understand you do. I've paid attention and I appreciate it that when you're alone, you should do that because that's for you and
Get
that's
some
great.
Enjoyment out of it. Sure.
I support it. Around me, just don't.
Yeah.
It's equal. Like I love her. And I also chew over her shoulder. So like it's equal. We both, but like that's my experience.
So have you guys ever looked at like, a total stranger and actually thought about like the size of their mouth compared to yours? That's where my brain goes.
What in the fuck are you talking
when
about?
People do that exact thing, I'm like, is your mouth not big enough to like put the chip all the way in your mouth, close your mouth, and then start chewing? Like, do I just have a really big mouth, or is this a courtesy problem?
It's a courtesy problem.
Because if their mouth is genuinely small, then I can kind of understand then, But at the same time, take smaller bites, or, don't put an entire potato chip in your mouth.
Have you ever seen a human... That you, like, okay, Steven Tyler, big mouth, Aerosmith, right? It's just kind of known. It's fine.
Yeah,
he
sure.
can eat. I bet equally, if he eats with his mouth open, it's loud as shit because he's got that big cavern chamber to just really... No, I'm saying, like, have you ever actually seen a mouth small to where you think, that human can't eat... No, I've never... You're insane. I've never thought that someone's mouth couldn't open.
Yeah.
It's, it's stretchy, it's lips.
Don't do that.
I mean, you understand.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's just, I guess I'm just really grasping for,
You're hoping.
I still have this tiny sliver in my body of like, there's a little bit of hope for humanity.
There's not, though. There's not.
Just not. So,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, hey, I think we did it. First one, done. What do you think?
I think we did it. We talked about a lot of poop and religion and Jewish people and...
Remind me to tell... This will be a poop-heavy series, I assume. I don't like your face. I'll share mine shortly. Next time, maybe. Look for that on the next episode of Why Is It Like This? Sean, Zach, and myself. And please email in at wiiltpod@gmail.com. See if there's anything we can help you with. And generally just love to hear your complaints. Please. That's what we do. All right. Thanks, Zach. Thanks, Sean.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right.
So I